I can't say it's sort of heralded a new era in terms of making us far more profitable than we ever were. But I think if we hadn't done this, we'd have been out of business some years ago. There probably wasn't at the beginning when we first made our first attempts at a website. I don't think there was a huge need for it, but it seemed to us a good opportunity and something that we shouldn't be missing out on. The shops were doing fine at that stage. We could have survived perfectly well just using the people who were coming into the shops and doing their regular shopping here. That wouldn't have been a problem, but we could see that the way that things were beginning to head. Obviously, records and CDs are the ideal thing to sell online. If you're a customer, you know exactly what you're getting. You have to look around and you just see that all your competitors have websites, they're selling their stock online. I mean, in the old days, we were in competition with the few shops who were around us in Manchester. Nowadays, we are in competition with supermarkets, we're in competition with every online music retailer on the planet. Competition is very, very fierce, but that's what being online entails, is that people don't differentiate by geographical location. They just look at everything that's available and they'll choose by price and by service. So we're just one of very many. So you've got to be on the ball, you've got to be providing a good service, because if you don't, then people aren't going to use you. Quite often you have an original idea, you think, well, this is what we want to do, and then the IT people come in and say, well, you can't do that, and you can't do that, and you can't do that. This is what you're going to have to do. And you end up really following somebody else's idea. If you're the people who know about your customers and you're the people who know about your product, then it's important that you decide how that's presented. So we were very much the driving force. We were very much the ones saying, look, you know, if we're selling records and CDs, we need to be able to give the customer this information laid out in this particular way. So we ended up with a website which we feel works very well. It looks the way that we want it to look. It enables us to get the information across that we feel is important. So we're not really working within somebody else's parameters. It's very much, you know, doing what we want it to do. And that's what we've done, and we're very happy with it. It works very well, and it's a system which can be constantly improved and added to and changed, and we're always, you know, we're always doing that. It has meant a lot of the staff having to deal a lot more with IT. I mean, very basic things like they've had to improve their typing. They've had to improve the way that they deal with computers, just straightforward things, which just needs a bit of training. And once they've been given that, they get the hang of it very quickly. There's a little bit of resistance to begin with. People are a bit, you know, well, this isn't the way that we've done things, and this isn't how I like to work. And I think just because people think they were doing a good job and they're worried that they're not going to be doing such a good job now, because the tools that they're using are not quite the same. But of course, once people are used to it, once they're settled in, it works fine. I'm quite hard-headed when it comes to business, and I think a lot of our competitors made the big mistake of thinking, oh, all this online stuff, all this computer business, that isn't really us, you know, that isn't what second-hand record shops are about, and they are the ones who've gone out of business, you know. The fact that we're doing online business has compensated for the loss of traffic coming into the shop, which has been really important. I haven't felt any regrets about it. I haven't thought, this isn't really what I'm about, I don't feel comfortable with this is for young people or anything like that. It seems to me this is the way that the world works now. So, you know, either you think, well, I'll have some of that, or you just sort of end up in a very small shop somewhere with all your stock covered in dust and nobody coming in, and you're not really doing any business, which, you know, is of no interest to me at all.